Welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with Lisa and the Music Man. Live from Studio C, here at Media Stations in Bohemia, New York.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Awareness Hour. My name is Norman Wasserman. I'm known as the Music Man. I'm known as the Awareness Guy, and probably a few other people have other words for me as well. And I am here with my...
What do you know, Norman?
I hear rumors. And my co-host is the lovely Lisa Rodino. Lisa, hi.
Hi, Norman. How are you this week?
I am forget this week. I'm really excited about tonight. Now, we've done... two other shows so far this week, and I've been waiting for this one. This one is actually, I said to my wife as I was leaving, I was telling them a little bit about our special guest. She goes, "You have what?
Right.
Who? Are you kidding?" So I said, "No, I'll speak to you later. I got to go."
Yeah.
So I want to, there's three people that are guests here this evening. I want to introduce them all, and I'd like them to say hello to everybody and give them their names and what they do and why you're involved with this organization, if you can. So let's start off with Autumn. Autumn, let him door.
Norman, before we start with everyone, why don't we tell everyone the organization that they're representing
tonight? That's what
tonight?
I thought they were going to do. So I'm going to lose. It's like being home with my wife. So why don't you tell everybody then the name of the organ, American Legion Post 500 Speedway. Okay, why don't you tell them?
Why don't I tell them? It's the American Legion Speedway Post 500.
There you go.
Okay, and go ahead and open up your mics, and everybody, let's hear who you are, where you're from, and tell us about the organization and how you support it.
Autumn, why don't you start off yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Autumn Latendry. I am the operations and fundraising coordinator for the new build team for American Legion Speedway Post 500. And that is my role for this amazing project.
And
Thank
Bob.
you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bob Vincent, and I'm a president of Real Heroes Media, and I work on Autumn's team with her, producing videos and material to help with that fundraising and getting the word out on this great project with the Speedway Post 500 and the Colonel Doc Ballard MOH Center.
All right, and our special guest star for this evening, Doc.
Colonel.
Yes. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Doc Ballard. I'm a retired military guy that spent most of my life taking care of veterans. Now I take care of them dead or alive. I'm excited about what we're going to do tonight.
Well, we welcome you to our studios. I'd like to find out, because that's why we're here tonight. I want to know about the charity work that you are doing in regards to the legacy and to the project and kissing a brick. You want to start, Bob?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So what's happening is the American Legion Speedway Post 500 has been at its current location, which is directly adjacent to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, since 1960. And they are building a brand new facility, and that new facility is going to be named after Colonel Ballard and honoring his legacy with the Unclaimed Heroes Project. Now, the Unclaimed Heroes Project is an initiative inspired by Colonel Ballard in his past 20 years of work himself to reclaim our nation's unclaimed heroes who don't have a resting place, that are literally sitting on a shelf in funeral homes across the country, and provide them with a final resting place of honor. And that's something we're going to be able to do with this brand new facility, which is being built in Indianapolis there next to the Speedway, to replace the current American Legion post and honor Colonel Ballard by having the building with his namesake and honoring him with his legacy project of the Unclaimed Heroes, to reclaim those heroes and give them a final resting place of honor.
Autumn, how long has this legacy project been going, or when did it start?
So technically it started about 5 years ago, is when the Legionnaires brought to the front that they wanted a new building. They knew they had outgrown their current facility, and so they began planning. But year after year, it was the struggle of getting all those elements and people and ideas kind of broken down into what is this place going to be. And they had an architect that had started drawing plans, and then within the last year and a half, they brought on a developer And then that developer brought on myself in May, and the three of us work continuously on this project and then our team separately to be able to, finally have what you can see on our website, kissabrick.com. It's our campaign website, and on there you can see a video of the building and rendering of the pictures of what this will be, and as well as the second initiative, which you've mentioned, Kiss a Brick, where they can purchase a brick that will be a half-mile path that will wrap around our 4-acre property, and they can have their name. You don't have to be a veteran to buy a brick. You can purchase a brick for anyone and put your state name. And if you're in the Indianapolis area, come walk the half-mile path.
I want to know why they chose you. What is your main business that you help this charity? What do you do?
So for me, it's consulting. So for me, it was to come in with my veteran knowledge background to be able to design and write all the programs that will be running out of this new facility. And that is one of my loves, is to make sure that I'm writing the programs and then I'm also getting them funded so that we can do, as it says on the website, honor a legacy, inspire the future. They knew they had an issue when it would just be a club room, because the Legion needed a newness to it. It needed to reach out to the new veteran, to the current veteran, and to those who will come behind all of us. And what could that be? What does this building look like? What do those programs look like? And so that became my role to create that.
How many bricks do you need?
Well, we can actually pretty much pave as much as we want to there, but the path is designed to have 100,000 bricks, the half-mile path. It's a 5-foot wide half-mile path. But the reality is we have an outdoor entertainment venue that we could also put pavers there. So we really could pave a lot more. But as far as where we're starting, the first initiative is the half-mile path.
Okay, so you need about, you said 100,000 bricks. So I'm going to make it that you're going to need 999,099 because I'm buying one. So Friend Entertainment, the Business Awareness Hour, is purchasing a brick, and that's for Doc. So, Doc, that one's for you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, you're not getting off that easy. We're not done with you yet. Well,
sorry. I was going to hang up.
No, you're not going anywhere. I think all our listeners, and we have many, many, many of them, would like to find out a little history about you, sir, and which is what your legacy is going to be all about. So if you could start from the beginning and bring us up to date, that would be great.
Well, I won't go all the way to the beginning, but I'll start when I joined the military. How about that? I joined the military to become a dentist. I was a pre-med major in dentistry. I had not heard anything about Vietnam, so I did not go to join the fight. I simply went there to be a healthcare provider. They told me in the Navy that they would pay all my education and allow me to serve out my time as a dentist. That's what made me join, was tuition assistance and educational benefits. Well, Vietnam came about. I joined in 1965. So, it was not any big, interest in anybody. The world hadn't heard much about it. I couldn't tell you where it was on the globe, So Vietnam started out slow, but then accelerated, and where they needed more corpsmen. And a corpsman is a paramedic that serves with the Marine Corps. And so they recruited me. I think I was voluntold to go become a Marine Corps corpsman. What a shock. I've tried to stay out of the Army draft and found myself in a worse condition being in the Marines. Well, I got after I served with the Marines for a period of time, I fell in love with the Marine Corps. There's no greater love than the Marines and their corpsmen. They call me Doc, because they can't spell corpsman. But
Semper Fi. I'm married to
yeah,
a Marine.
we'll tell him hello. If there's any other Marines out there tonight, I'll tell any joke slow and twice so they'll get it.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
You're
I
gonna
on the
you're gonna
Marines
get some
because I
messages about
can.
that one.
It is a love that we have. They appreciate me, and the medal that I'm wearing around my neck, contrary to popular belief, I didn't get it at Walmart. I tell everybody that's where I got it, but it was given to me by President Nixon in the White House.
What kind of medal is that?
Pardon?
What kind of medal is that?
It's called the Medal of Honor.
The Medal of Honor.
Yes. Yeah, you didn't know we was having on tonight, I guess. But well, okay. I love that laughter there and the clapping. But here's the deal.
They're applauding for you.
Oh, thank you. I simply wanted to do my job the best I could. I realized that I was going to die. I didn't really think I was going to get out of the country alive. I'd been wounded 8 times. I didn't have a good time in Vietnam. I can't think back and reflect on any times that I want to remember. It was pretty hectic and tragic. But as a corpsman, my job was to save lives, get them home to their loved ones in the best medical condition that I could. We saved them on the battlefield for them to be medevac back to the rear where the doctors could do their part and then forwarded on to their, back to the CONUS here to the country. And that's where, they ended up as in a VA or a hospital close to where their family resided. So, over the years, I saw a lot of death. I saw a lot of carnage. I saw a lot of tragedy and trauma. And I've become hardened over the years, more than what I care to acknowledge. But I also had that caring, that life-saving, caring concern. I've always been there. I retired as a captain paramedic on the fire department here in Kansas City. It's all because I stay as a paramedic. At the age of 60, I went back to school to become a mortician. Yes, that's right, a funeral director.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a licensed practical funeral director now. I practice in 2 states. I have 2 funeral homes and 2 cemeteries, one in Missouri, and I have a cemetery in Kansas. And so my entire life has been taking care of veterans. And as I go through life, this journey opens many a door, and it also provides me opportunities to find voids that I can help and fix and step up and do things that the government ought to be doing for our veterans. So that's what I'm all about, is taking care of veterans, both dead and alive. And as the journey expands and I meet different people, I learn of different challenges and different needs. And that's what I'm here tonight about, is to explain what the need that I've recently been recruited to help with. And so that's kind of my story, is to be there for the veterans and do the best I can for even recall and reclaim these veterans that have given so much for our country, and yet they died. And whether they were suicide, whether they died from any other reason, they're unclaimed. They're sitting on the shelves of these funeral homes across the country. And I think it's important that we reclaim those ashes and inter them properly with military honors. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
All right. I want to just mention something. I have done a lot of work with the vets, either through this particular show and in networking groups. In fact, I introduced Doc Ballard to one of our network buddies in Houston, Texas, who was also a Marine. His name is Mike Martin, and the two of them have chatted. And I know for a fact that Mike has already started with his vets groups down in Dallas and in Houston, promoting the organization, and you're going to be hearing from him again, hopefully real soon. But I know from all the stories that I've gotten is how poorly the education factor is when you're released from the service, when you finished your tour of duty and your date is up. There is not really an educational class that you take to let the vets know what they're entitled to and what they're not entitled to. All right, and I know this has been going on for years and years. Has it gotten any better? Are the vets getting educated now about what they're entitled to? Anyone can answer that question, or you all can answer it individually.
I'll go ahead and jump in here. I feel that because of the way that we have ability through like your program, through LinkedIn, through other social media formats and podcasts, we are definitely reaching people maybe in their niches. So there's a more specified, because not everybody's going to attend a debrief that's optional for your benefits. So even though the military does try and present some options, not everybody attends. So, you know, when you're not your own self-advocate at that point, because you don't really know that you need to be, you're just exiting, you're ready to leave, you're ready to be done, the last day on the job, your mindset isn't really, maybe I should go to every single option that's available to me to find out what I get after this, you know, run. So it seems that until there's an onset of issues or an onset of family asking, how do I deal with the veteran that is now in my care, that then some of these things come to the forefront. So I will defend the military there a little bit, because I was on that side as a military spouse, and I do know what came across to me all the time. And it really was you making sure that you are making a concentrated effort to learn. But could there be things that are informed even more so? Absolutely. And I do feel like that's what a lot of nonprofits do, a lot of groups try to do, you know, for others. But, you know, you kind of receive information as you want to obtain it and when you're searching for it. So sometimes you don't always hear what needs to be told to you and the time it needs to be told to you. So, you know, I think it's great that we can do something like your podcast and get information out there. But we also hope from the death side, from the benefit side, that we can use Colonel Ballard's wisdom as well as the information that we learn, because it is changing. Legislation doesn't sit, you know, it changes daily, and it's a lot to keep up with. What is the new? What's there? What's allowed? You know, so so just because somebody learned something 2 years ago, it may very well have changed last month.
Right. You know, I was mentioning that as a layman. You know, because if it was me and I was in the service, and I would like to know the entitlements that I've worked hard, you know, to go in and receive. And I would just think that maybe it should be a prerequisite before you get the stamp on that piece of paper and say, you know, discharge, that you go through even a brief, you know, awareness, you know, that if you ever have a problem, worst case scenario, here, call this number. You know, so
but Norman, when a lot of times when they're separating from the military, they want it in the rear view mirror, and you know the size of the rear view mirror, it's not big.
I know we have a bunch of people that we know very, very well that go through all of that. I'm just saying. Bob, what is your position with the project? What do you do for them?
So I do video production and marketing. So the video that you'll find on the website is some of my work. And I'm also helping with the fundraising, working hand in hand with Autumn, reaching out to folks, promoting the project, working with folks like you to arrange podcasts like what we're on today, and just helping getting the word out and building the relationships and working with Colonel Ballard. I've worked with him for 15 years. So my background in general has been supporting military events and programs, producing videos and marketing material for events and organizations all across the country for about the last 15 years. So I'm very heavily involved, have a lot of great relationships in the military community, in the corporate community, and just helping getting the word out and promoting and doing what we can to raise the funds to make this building happen.
You know, Dad, you got some pretty good people here.
Yes, and I was going to ask, what is the best way to reach you to put a contribution in?
Our fundraising website, kissabrick.com. So under there's a sponsorship tab where we do have individual sponsorships available for the Unclaimed Heroes project, where individuals can sponsor a certain number of urns based on the level that they're looking to support. Then we also have a groundbreaking sponsorship for our groundbreaking that we're going to be having for the new facility. And then we have the Kiss a Brick campaign, where individuals can purchase bricks, where they can have their name, they can have their branch of service if they're in the military, or their state if they were a civilian, and then their American Legion post number if they are an American Legion post member. And there's another option for companies that would like to purchase a brick, where they can have their corporate name engraved on the brick. That will be part of the walkway as well. So those are the
Awesome.
three main initiatives that we have out there for raising funds right now to help make this facility a reality.
Doc,
Great.
can I ask you, who recommended you for the Medal of Honor? How is that process done?
Doc, you have yourself on mute. You need to unmute yourself for us. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
I hear
Yes.
you now. You
Sorry.
sound like a commercial for a telephone.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the process is you're put in by the unit, the members of the unit that witnessed the event. And the Marines that I served with was 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines. And they thought that whatever I had done was worthy of being rewarded. And so they put me in for the award. And it's important to understand that that award is evaluated at each level. So if you put somebody in for an award and your sergeant or your staff sergeant or your first class petty officer, somebody was prejudiced or didn't like you for whatever reason, or just didn't think you were worthy of it, that's where the award was stopped right there. So we see that a lot. Luckily, it went through. It took them 2 years to approve my receiving that medal. So it was put in, and each level, clear through the chain of command, had to investigate it, approve it, and then forward it on to the higher headquarters.
Does Congress have anything to say about that? I would imagine not, though. Do they?
They do. The President of the United States awards this a medal in a ceremony in the White House in the name of Congress. It's a lot of times the award is called a Congressional Medal of Honor,
Right.
because the Medal of Honor, the proper name is Medal of Honor, but the Medal of Honor Society was chartered by Congress, and so it's sometimes referred to as the Congressional Medal of Honor, which is not correct in military terms. In civilian terms, it denotes that it's a military award, because we have civilian awards as well. You know, the police departments have Medal of Honors. You know, so it's a separate category that people choose to call it Congressional Medal of Honor.
Okay. The 60,000 square foot building that you're building is going to consist of what? What the purpose of the building is to? Anybody can jump in.
Yeah, the purpose of the building is to serve the veterans, their families, and the community. That's the mission of the American Legion and the individual post. So Speedway Post 500, though, will be the first and largest in the nation post. Not the first post, but the first largest post in the nation. That's 60,000 square feet. And that post will be different in this way. One, it will have an entire community center. And within that community center, all of the things that you're mentioning about learning about certain items, maybe they didn't check into anything before they left.
Mm-hmm.
They can come and they can have resources there, service officer, all the different groups that will have their days to be within that location to ask those questions. Secondarily, they will have items there to be able to use, such as an exercise facility where childcare will be available. They will have a museum which they can either contribute or be a part of when those displays are coming through with different eras of information. There will be a coffee shop and cafe. There will be a food truck. There will be, I mean, there's so many different components, but then there are all the program. There's flag education. There's an immense part of us connecting to the current state of military individuals. So there's a new program that's being developed right now for those who have service dogs. And so we're trying to incorporate many programs for the military members to be a part of, to function, for their families to be a part of. There's an outdoor entertainment venue that seats 700.
Oh.
There's a 16,000 square foot event center, state of the art. So this place, beyond its club room and bar, which most people think of for an American Legion, if you don't even want to escape in that location, you can be a part of everything else, all the volunteering and all of the programs beyond the Unclaimed Heroes Project. There are many ways to get involved and be a part of what this building will become. If they're looking for a purpose, if they're looking for a place to give back, this will be different, and this will be a change that is very much needed across the nation at our American Legion posts.
You know, it sounds from what you're explaining and the size of the building that you're going to also increase employment in the area quite a lot. You know, that's huge, you know, especially for the vets. And I would imagine vets would get first crack, you know, at the positions that are offered. And that's very important for them because, Lisa and I can vouch, you know, we have a number of people that we're really friendly with that have got out of the service within the last few years that were really lost. And they had no place to go and no jobs or whatever. And thank God the people that we know, and a couple of them have started their own business. One of them became, actually, he went from Philadelphia to Florida during the hurricane season to start saving lives. And then he started a business building homes when he was down there. But, you know, they got a hold of themselves, and that was, you know, really, really positive. And at this particular point, we're going to pay some bills. So we're going to do that, and we're going to be back in about 2 minutes. So everybody stay tuned. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Rodino. I am a commercial loan advisor and broker. Have you been finding that your business's cash flow is not where you need it to be? Have you found yourself taking from your personal accounts to meet your business's obligations? Have you found that those quick solutions of quick money are starting to get awfully expensive? My job is to find the right funding products for my clients, so they can get back to working in their business and give me the task of finding the best options for their situation. Give us a call today to learn more. 516-268-0350.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Okay, welcome back to the Business Power Hour, and we welcome Doc Ballard, Medal of Honor winner, to our stage, along with his associates, Autumn and Bob. We're friends now. I don't have to use last names.
Yes. And you were talking about the establishment that you're going to have with the post, you know, let me see, the American Legion Speedway Post 500. And you got me thinking. I've been a part of the Civil Air Patrol in the years past when I had a son interested in aviation. I'm sure they would love to be involved with that. Has your local Civil Air Patrol been involved with you guys with this project?
No, not at this point. And, you know, August 9th was when the Legionnaires voted that this building could be a reality for the post. So it is all fresh and new, and it's exciting to take off. Even though we've had months and months of back end planning, the reality was we had to present something to them and in its entirety so that they could make a conscious decision on, if it should move forward. So that's a great point, and we look forward to looking into that. Thank you.
You're
Actually,
welcome.
you can hire Lisa. She'll handle it for you. She'll
Yeah.
take care of
Yeah, Lisa, it's your job now. Thank you.
She
I'll
doesn't
take care
have
of my
enough on
team.
her plate. She could use a little bit
You
more.
got my number right up
Okay.
here.
What is the time frame on completion of the building?
I think it's time to talk a little bit about the educational side. The reason I got involved, quite frankly, was I looked at a void that no one had any interest in. People care very little about veterans, and even the ones that care about veterans don't care after the veteran dies. So a dead veteran is how much problem is associated with that. Not one of us on this channel, except myself, can understand and deal with a funeral. It wasn't until I went back to school at the age of 60 to become a funeral director that I learned, all that process. But more importantly, I learned what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. You talked about the education. I look at this post as being a veterans university, because we're going to offer so many venues that will come and go. Some of them will have to be updated all the time. But the main thing I want to stress is that most veterans don't know the difference between funeral benefits and burial benefits. You see, everybody thinks they're going to get the free ride when they die to go to the burial. And yes, that's true. Most veterans do get cemetery benefits, but not all. And so that's why, we want to educate the veteran on how to prepare for the end of life, get his family involved so he doesn't have to dump all this burden on to the family when he dies. There's just so many other things that we want to educate the veterans on. We're combining it with the Medal of Honor Society. They have a character development program that we try to put into all the schools across the country to educate the youth on how to be better patriots and how to be better citizens. So that'll be one of our themes, So in any educational venue that we come across that we need, like finding businesses that want to hire veterans, training them. We've got several associations over the years with schools, trade schools. I certainly believe that the money and the time is well spent in a trade school over a university or a college.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So let's go out and get some jobs that we need. Let's get some education that we need. And I've spent my entire life, when I'm not in the medical field or the death industry, trying to help in the educational venue of veterans. So that's why I'm calling this the Veterans University.
Doc, why aren't vets entitled to the same burial or funeral costs?
Well, I spent 30 years in the military, retired out as a colonel, Medal of Honor recipient, and I do not qualify for funeral benefits.
I got to ask, why?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. We ought to be asking the congressman, because the politicians have not addressed it and haven't done it. I have had the experience of burying veterans returning from the combat zone in a body bag, and they are not entitled to funeral benefits.
That's perplexing. That's craziness.
It is terrible, disturbing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What they rely on is the families have to buy SGLI insurance. So that's where they want to get their payment from. The government will tell you right up front, there's no funeral benefits. There's always exception. If you died in the care of the VA or there's always exceptions. But 99% of veterans, I don't care if you're a 4-star general or a Medal of Honor recipient or private, you do not qualify as a rule for funeral benefits. So it's imperative to me to get that word out and help veterans know the difference and realize the impact that that's going to have on their families.
So, how many unclaimed veterans are there?
Sitting across the United States. Oh, sorry, sir. Go right ahead.
No, I don't know that we know an answer to that. We've discovered 50 to 100,000, and we're not in every state. You know, I'm personally involved in 13 states dealing with my funeral home, trying to provide free burial benefits and free funeral benefits for veterans that don't qualify. So I don't know. We know about 13 states, but I can't answer that question because we're not knowledgeable enough to have been able to do the surveys.
I have an idea, and I think it'd be a good idea to show everybody that are tuning in your website and take a fast peek, and they can peruse it afterwards and they get a little idea. So if that's okay with you, we're going to put up the website. Lisa's going to do it on her side, and we're going to go through this from the first page and take it to the end.
Sure. I mean, everybody thinks their nonprofit that they work for is the most important, and I don't disagree with that. There's a lot of tremendous good being done out there. No one has looked at what happens after the person dies, after the family dies, and after the veteran dies. So that's what we're all about. That's why they recruited me as being the only Medal of Honor recipient funeral director of existence, or ever has been. So I come to the table with knowledge and the desire to want to educate.
And you certainly have that desire. And not only that, but you're one handsome dude. I'm looking at this picture over here with you in your tuxedo and the Medal of Honor. You're looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, you clean up very nicely. That's a beautiful picture of you.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hitting a dime will get me a cup of coffee some places and $6 at Starbucks.
Well, a dime's pretty good. I'm usually spending $3 or $4, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
It shows my age when I talk about coffee being 10 cents, right?
All right. So this is
as we scroll through, I see there's a page about be a part of our history and legacy, and it tells us about how you're ushering in the future of the American Legion Post at Speedway Post 500, and that looks like quite an incredible building. And Bob, your videos here, tell us a little bit about what you did to get through that process of putting them on there.
No, as far as the video goes, I was blessed to work with a great architect who, as you see the facility, designed an amazing building. I mean, so it had some amazing renderings to work with. So animating those and then combining them with some of the floor plans. So you'll see the floor plans mixed in with each of these sections of the building to show the interior space and amenities that'll be in there. So I see the videos playing here. So like the Legion Club Room, then it'll show the outdoor performance venue, the event deck. It'll show the columbarium where we're going to have the Unclaimed Heroes project. There's going to be a live gaming room, which I think I see on there right now. I haven't been catching it on the corner of my eye. I haven't been following you. But the outdoor performance venue for the 700 seats that Autumn had mentioned to you. So, it just kind of takes you through the facility. You can see that. And then it gives you a little background on the namesake of the building. So you'll see a little section in there on Colonel Ballard and his medal from President Nixon. And then some other events he was involved in. And our new fundraising opportunity at the end of the year with the Kiss of Brick and the Unclaimed Heroes sponsorships.
Very nice. And I see Commander Lawson on the bottom of your page. She's involved with this, and tell us more about her.
Yeah, she's the first female representative to be here. As the Legion, as the commander, I work with her almost every day. She's phenomenal, and one of the only females beyond the auxiliary as far as veterans. There are only a few other female veterans in the entire post. So for her, she really she has Sagamore of the Wabash, which is an elite award here in our state. I mean, she has done some incredible things in her career. So I enjoy working with her daily. beyond that, just the rest of the group, it's hard to be somewhere for so many years. That place has been there for decade after decade after decade, but they've done an amazing job, and her team have been a pleasure to work with.
That is
And
wonderful
then
stuff.
there's a page here with sponsorship opportunities that people can put any. Well, really, I'm sure you'll accept any donation that comes through the door. But in order to get these special sponsorships, there's a list of prices that go along with it. So we're going to ask everybody to take a peek at that too. And if you find it within your heart and you can go and do that, don't let us stop you. Do it right away. I'm sure there's a page on here or the email. The website itself will accept donations. Is that correct, Autumn?
That is correct. And please know that when you see those numbers, don't think that those are us fluffing those numbers so that we can take something off the top. It's actually not even the cost of what it will be. But we came up with trying to do, it's $8,000 is where you see that it will start for the Unclaimed Heroes Project. And that brings home 3 individuals. And for some people are like, oh, I could never do that. I can't spend that. We just ask you, if you can support us in any way, there are other options there to send in what you can. We realize not everybody can do that. But if you're a corporation and you can, and you want to know that you are bringing 3 home, ideally, it's really around 10 grand with the cost of transportation and all of the other elements of making sure there's a marker for their name and then the the honor burial and presentation and what we can do at the facility. So we have decided on 8 because it is just something that we broke down a while back. But the reality is, the more research we've done upon this, it's going to take a more concentrated effort. So no, it's not the Legion taking something off the top and it costing $50. It is a true expense to have these individuals in a final resting place.
And then, of course, if people want to kiss a brick, do I get to kiss it before it gets laid down in the cement?
Well, you could, because you can order a replica, so you could kiss your brick every day if that's what you'd like to do.
How do I get
There is an option for sending one to your house, so go ahead and order 2, and then you can kiss away.
Well, I'm down for that.
Okay.
I have nobody else to kiss. My wife doesn't kiss me anymore, so I'll kiss a brick.
Stop, Norman.
Well, I gotta.
It might need to be another show for you, but for tonight, order your replica.
Okay. Well, well, let's put it like this. I want to order the replica, and I want to order a brick. How do I do that? Or can you call me, or can I call you, and give you a credit
Norman?
card?
If we
it's
look,
really easy too. You can go on to kissabrick.com and all the steps are there for you. I do want to point out one feature there because I myself am a Gold Star, and I want you to see Nordemeyer. He's listed there on a brick, and he is an individual who was a member at the post who was killed in action. And so we have chosen his name. He has a flag and a monument that is there at the facility. But that is why his name is a specific example along with the commander. And then the Wilson family that's on behalf of Dave Wilson, who was the general manager there, whose father was a Marine. He grew up at the post. He runs the current facility. So in designing that, I wanted to pay memory to those who we may be the ones that are interviewed about this place, but we're just the people on the outskirts right now. But those are the individuals who are internally that project that we're doing this for, beyond Colonel Ballard's legacy. And so, when you read Nordemeyer's name, please recognize that he's somebody who has died for all of us.
Doc,
Very nice.
if it's okay, I'm sure in your lifetime in the service and the work that you've done throughout your years, you've come across some really interesting stories. Is there anything that you could share with the audience that triggers your mind a bit? That's something that's real interesting.
Yes, I could pat myself on the back and say it would have been the day that I got the Medal of Honor. Obviously, that's pretty memorable and high on my list. But I think I'd like to recall a speech that I gave one time when part of I was just being introduced and a more question and answers. And when it got to the question was, why, and this was several years ago, but why does the Vietnam vet so screwed up? I thought, wow, you obviously have never been in combat, but let me explain to you. I was wounded 8 times. I killed 6 men with by myself, 6 men. 3 of them was with my knife. And you expect me to come home and not be screwed up?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think that's would better be said. I'm more about recognition of all the veterans, not just myself. This ain't about me. I don't make a penny. I'm here out of love, and I'm certainly here because I want to educate the people. I also want to recruit the non-veterans. We talk to veterans all the time. They get it. But there's only 0.5% of our population that's veterans. I'd like to recruit another 1% or 2% of the non-veterans that will come up and serve now. Come on, let's take care of the veterans that did our dirty work over the years. Let's help the veterans that did take his life and give it up for this country. We're enjoying freedoms today that somebody else paid the price for. So it's time for us to pay.
Doc, if you were going to create a position like that, what would you call it, and what kind of person would you want in it?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
You want to get all these vets employed and get them jobs and get them involved with what you're doing. How would you do that? Would you hire a person to start a new department for yourself, for the organization?
I would. We're all about hiring people. We understand that the American Legion is currently there. They're older people that have already retired for the most part. So we're trying to encourage the new veteran to come and join the Legion. So everything we're earmarking this entire facility for is for them and their families. So yes, we're going to recruit and hire people that understand their needs and will work diligently to help them get what they need. We've done our older veterans. We've gotten our life, pretty well behind us now. Right. And so I think the most important thing I can do is help the younger veterans, make it through life the best that they can, So yes, we'll definitely hire the talent and the expertise that will ensure their success. And we constantly partner with other organizations all the time. That's how I know so many. I belong to 33 nonprofits, and every one of them is going to support us in a different way. They all come from different perspectives, and all of us agree that it's our turn to take care of the younger veteran and help him, enjoy his quality of life that he suffered for.
Well, here's a question for Alderman for Bob. You have to have another way to raise money. What do you do? What kind of events do you do to bring in money to the organization?
We do, and we have several initiatives, but this is kind of phase one within the plan. But we have other events that will be happening, such as the kickoff, the groundbreaking, the ribbon cutting, the first beam, signing. So all of those things will all be contribution events. But beyond that, it's corporate involvement, right? There are so many great nonprofits across the nation, and it's finding your people who want to support what you're all about. And through that, we found great success in our programs and people wanting to back those, either because we can in turn, at the end of the day, you're a nonprofit. So charity and what you're giving back and giving out and providing should be your central focus. It's great to come in and be able to entertain and go to the poker room and whatnot. But ultimately, when you look at an organization, what are they able to give out? And where does that charitable contribution go? So it's working with these partners. And so for us, we will have multiple events, whether it be outdoor entertainment venue, where we have a fundraiser like what you mentioned yourself, and maybe, in the future collaborating with you there, because those are times that, one, people can come enjoy, they can partake, but they can see what you're all about, and they can also hear your programs or see your people, meet your people, or simply meet a need.
you're looking to create that awareness before the fact.
I do create that awareness before the fact because we have to be able to implement those programs, and those companies are already aligning with us before this building is even built, because we have to be able to have a building that is not empty for 6 months while we decide programs, that once it's up and ready,
Exactly.
that it is functioning and these programs are available. Don't forget, there's an existing building that's been there for 40 years. So that building right now, some of these programs already exist within. And so they are happening. It's in a much smaller square footage, but they
they're
will then
happening.
be, built upon and then new ones introduced. And we're working out all of those kinks so that when the new building is there, we are then ready to rock and roll.
Okay. So now we're almost getting towards the end of that hour. So I would love if each of you can make some final words, to the public and reach out to them. And first of all, we all thank you for being here. It was very, very informative. Doc, you're the bomb, buddy. You really are.
Yes, sir.
You are the man.
Well, I know I don't. It's not about me. Keep in mind, it's. I like to be remembered for doing what I've done since that one day in combat. It's. I can put all my laurels on say, yeah, look at me. But that's not what I'm here for. I want to help the veterans. I want to educate the general public on the importance of supporting the veterans. I want corporations to understand that they wouldn't be making the profit today if it wasn't for the veterans. They owe the veterans. And I think they ought to, give us some of their tax dollars instead of giving it to the government.
You know what, Doc? There's a reason why you're getting a legacy. And you can say whatever you want, but without you, this might not be happening. I want you to think about that. So
thank you for that. It's a big burden.
Because,
this thing is heavier to wear than it was to earn. You know what I mean? And yes, I have to tend to agree with you, but I'm not done yet. I'm not in the casket yet, but I will get a discount when I go. But the whole effort is I'm a humorous guy. I deal with my PTSD with humor. And I don't care whether you can laugh at my jokes or not, but I enjoy them. So, let's take care of the veterans. Let's do a better job of taking care of them. That's all I'm asking. That's all the veteran wants when he comes home. He wants a fair chance at a good job. He wants to be healthy and wise with his money, and he needs guidance. I didn't get here by myself. And I don't think they have the capability of getting where they're going without, having a team to support them.
That's it. Bob, you have any final words?
Yes, sir. Well, I was just going to, one other suggestion on our brick campaign. Of course, anybody watching, we appreciate your support with kissupbrick.com. On those bricks, one other idea of Veterans Day coming up. For your corporate company listeners, if they'd like to get a brick for their employees and do something to honor their veteran employees, that's something else to think about, which also supports the project, supports Colonel Ballard, his legacy, and this new facility. And then on top of the individual bricks, we also have company bricks available too, to put in company names. So
are they the same price? Are they the same price? The company bricks?
Yes, sir. Yes, they sure are. And then one other point, as far as while we're educating people, I know Colonel Ballard is very big on education, and this was something that over the years of producing events, we refer to the Medal of Honor. I heard it was referred to as him winning the Medal of Honor. That is one thing to note, is Colonel Ballard received the Medal of Honor. That is one thing to keep in mind, that it wasn't a competition and contest of what Colonel Ballard went through to receive that medal. So,
and it looks very good around his neck. I mean, that tuxedo and the Medal of Honor was pretty sharp looking.
Yep. So yeah, but it's a medal that's received.
Go ahead, Bob. The point he was making is most Medal of Honor recipients are not winners. We didn't enter a contest. I mean, we were awarded an award based on our efforts. And I'd like to have Autumn now finish out our conversation.
You beat me to it. Autumn, please.
Sure. Thank you. Well, first, I want to thank any veteran that is listening. Thank you for what you've done for us. And sorry, it gets me choked up every time in mentioning, just because my Marine captain husband gave his life. And I thank you all for what you've done. If you're a Vietnam veteran, welcome home. If no one's ever mentioned that to you, we thank you for what you've done. And this program, we thank you for allowing us to be here to share the passion. Some people can say it's just a building. It's more than a building. It's a place where people can find purpose. It's a place where people learn to maybe have a family that they don't have anywhere else. And if you're a veteran who's struggling, we urge you to contact us. We want to be able to find ways, even if it's maybe not in Indiana through this location. We're here for you, and we thank you for what you've done. So thank you for allowing us a segment to be able to mention what we're a part of and so many other great organizations are doing to try and remember those who are willing to give their lives for us.
Okay,
so thank you.
Let's give the vets a phone number that they can call if they need some help with some service, and then another number or the same number to make donations to your charity.
Sure. And if you go to the contact, my name is listed there on the contact at kissabrick.com. And there's a number there, 317-407-1276 is listed. And you can text or contact that number. If somebody doesn't answer right away, please know that we check those daily and we will get back to you. But, first information, if it's not important, if it's not urgent, then, please send a text or email and we can get to those. But we care deeply. This isn't just a project. This is a legacy project. It's one that is important to us, and it's one to remember. You only heard a portion of Doc's story. I encourage you to look him up, read about him, watch about him. And this is he's so humble, but it is about really honoring his legacy and inspiring the future. So thank you.
And I thank you very, very much for allowing us to have your story on here and sharing it with everybody. And I hope, we're about awareness. The show is just about awareness and letting the country or whoever follows us, and there are thousands that follow us, what people, what businesses are all about. And I appreciate the fact that you said yes and you came on the show, and we thank you for all the really great work that you're doing. And to you, Doc, you're the man.
Yes, but also to all the family members of the military, thank you for your services of
Amen.
Supporting our military men and women that have gone out there for us and kept
Are
us
still
free.
going out there for us. It just doesn't
They
stop.
still, yep.
Things are crazy in this world. So,
It is.
without you guys, we'd be in a lot of trouble. So again, thank you very, very
Yes.
much. If we don't speak, happy Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's almost here, believe it or not. It was just New Year's Eve.
Crazy.
Right. So here we go. And yes, I'm going to kiss the brick. I'm going to buy the one to be sent to the home.
Yep.
All right. I promise I'll take care of it tomorrow. You won't have to call me. I will take care of that. And again,
we'll double that here.
all right. And we thank you very, very much. God bless, and have yourself a great evening. Don't go away. Well,
Thank you. Thank you again.
my pleasure.
You're welcome.
Pleasure. I don't even know where to begin.
Norman,
the undertaking that these folks are doing is just sensational. Just
Yes, it
sensational.
is. And you have no pun intended with that one. I know you don't.
With what?
Undertaking.
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking.
Well, that's why they recruited me,
That was
Undertaker.
the joke of the night.
And,
You just-
That
Hey.
was fun.
Well, we had to bring a little smile to
Well, it
everyone
is an
tonight. We had a very, yes, it is. We did have a serious conversation tonight, but what an honor to have you all here, and thank you for being here. And Norman, well done at bringing this panel tonight. Good job.
Thank you. You guys make me look good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
we
Well,
do want to
anyway.
help you. We do want to support you.
Well, I
we
appreciate that. I'm
and
going to give you an opportunity if and when we can do a concert.
Okay, yeah, we're ready. We do have Gary Sinise. We're talking to him. We're talking to Lee Greenwood and McVeigh.
Actually,
Mark McVeigh.
I may be doing, to interrupt you, I'm sorry, I may be doing a situation with Gary Sinise in Washington.
Very good.
Some people
Well,
have
Norman, we'll
reached out.
definitely have a stage. Hopefully, after the facility opens, we can talk with you and put someone on that stage that you saw in the video.
Is that going to be a gymnasium type room, or is that going to be an
No,
actual
it's
stage?
an outdoor music. No, there's an outdoor live event venue that's going to be outside with 700 seats and then a capacity for over 1,000 with the
Oh,
standing
we're
room.
going to
and
sell
upper-
1,000 easy. By the time I get done
Oh
with
yeah,
you know,
and then
2,000,
plus the
3,000.
event deck, which overhangs
yeah.
or oversees the
I
concert.
just want to go there to tour it when
You
it's
got to
done.
see me in operation. You'll see exactly why 35
Absolutely.
years I've been doing that. So that's
Yep.
it. Again, folks, God bless you all, and we'll be seeing you all soon.
God bless you. Thank you, Norman. Thank you, Lisa, for having us on.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
Norman,
very
before you go
welcome.
away, tomorrow
When-
morning or anytime you wish, you go to YouTube, the Business Awareness Hour. You can download your hour show.
And you can make reels with it and everything for
You
your
can cut it up,
advertising.
Bob, this is perfect for you. You can cut the daylights
Sure.
out of it and make commercials.
That's what we do. I'll definitely be taking a look for it first
All
thing.
right, sounds good. And by the way, I may be